I was reading at the Chi-Town Rumble in '89. You were seated next to Brad Muster, who at the time was the fullback for the Chicago Bears. And because kayfabe was still being observed from within the business, Jim Ross acknowledged Muster's presence in the audience during the broadcast, but not yours.
Yes.
So you would show up, and I remember this was years later. That was in '89, but I remember years later. Sometimes where it'd be Cow Palace, you would show up. We'd come through there and, hey man, Meltzer's here. And this is before I'd ever read a sheet, but you were kind of like that kayfabe guy. Like, we would know when you were at the shows. How did that affect you? Like you're the secret guy sitting in the audience that you're going to talk about Muster, but not going to say, oh well, and here's Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter sitting right beside him.
I don't know. Every now and then, like it was what I thought was funny is sometimes like at the shows in California, you would see these guys, and I could tell. That you're doing certain things. Like I remember guys doing like the Owen Hart Mick Foley match, which you may even know about, because Foley wrote about it in his book. I remember watching this match, and they were doing like a street fight, and they're hitting each other with bags of popcorn and selling it like crazy. And I'm going like, this is the worst thing. And then I didn't even think about this until later. I read his book and goes, we were out there trying to get Dave Meltzer to say we had the worst match possible. But it ended up you told them that they had the worst match possible, and Mick goes, when Steve told me, I didn't even care what Meltzer thought anymore when Steve said it. But it's like I remember watching, it's like years later I read this thing, but I'm watching this match going, they're selling this bags of popcorn shots. This is absolutely ludicrous.
Well, I was ringside for some of those because I think I was still coming back from a neck injury or something, and so I would be kind of ringside to make an appearance, and those guys would be working the match, and whether it was Owen doing something to Mankind or vice versa, one of them would be laying there and they would rip the bag of popcorn open or the plastic lids that go on a drink container and pour them on the guy that was laying on the ground. And the guy laying on the mat would sell them like, it was the most painful thing in the world. And I've got my head on the apron with my hands like this, with my face down because I'm bald-headed. I can't use my hair to cover my face. I'm laughing my ass off. And then Owen's out there in the popcorn making a snowman, while he's selling. It was absolutely ridiculous.